Hey guys, Payman again, and this is part 2 of a multi-part series on how to create infographics. In part 1, I talked to you about what makes a good infographic, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the types of infographics. There's 13 different types, and I'm going to show you examples of each one and what type of content and data each one is composed of. So before we get there, I'm going to talk to you about information in general. It is typically categorized in one of 5 ways. Content is categorized chronologically, alphabetically, geographically, and also categorically, and this one I always have a hard time saying, hierarchically or hierarchically. So let's go to the next part about the types of infographics. Number 1 is mixed charts. So mixed charts is, as the name implies, is different types of charts and graphs combined into one infographic. And it's basically best for many stats. When you have a lot of stats, facts, and figures, mixed charts would be a great format to utilize. For example, in this infographic here, this is about the various stats on Kobe Bryant. So if you look at it, they're utilizing a bar chart and also large stats and as well as radial charts and so on. Number 2 is an informational list. This is actually a little bit of my least favorites because it's pretty much mostly composed of text. Infographics are supposed to be visual with small amounts of information or text. This one is kind of opposite of that, but at the same time, it is a type of infographic. And what typically happens in these is that the message is driven mostly by words and not so much by visual components. Number 3 is a timeline. This is actually very popular. You use it to pretty much show an evolution of something over a period of time. If you want to tell a story, it's a great format to use. And also if you want to show things in a chronological order, such as this example here, where we're talking about classic cars on the big screen. Also it's good for resumes and for telling brand stories. It's actually often found in About Us pages of various startups where they talk about the evolution of their startup from a certain year to another. Number 4 is how-to. This is actually very common, the how-to format, and what you're really doing this one is you have steps in creating something. So, in this one is a perfect post is talking about the different steps to do that, and in another aspect, how-tos could be a matter of phases, phase 1, 2, or 3, or it might be a matter of a process and so on. Number 5 is process. So process is another type of infographic, and it is also referred to as a flow chart or a decision tree. It's very common, and often, pretty much there's now flow charts about everything. The example here is about the process of brewing coffee. 6, comparison is also very popular. You see it all the time, and what you do is you compare 2 products or 2 people or ideas or things next to each other. Maybe 2 opposing things or 2 similar things. So example here is categorized into the left and the right, and they're actually using the color variation of blue versus red to differentiate the 2 sides in terms of Netflix and Redbox. Now, number 7 is location, and typically what happens in this one is utilize regions or maps, and you combine it with icons and color-coded regions. It's used for comparing regional and global stats, and also what you do often is you can associate statistics with a very specific location. So there might be a country or a region, you can actually utilize different statistics. It may not even be a population, it might be other general such as GDP values and other formats. Next one is photographic. So photographic, as the name implies, you basically do is combine images and graphical elements, such as the example here. And in this one, what's happened is you combine, typically you combine very simple lines and icons with the photograph, but the photograph is really the focal point, and the secondary elements, such as the line and text, are actually the follow-through pieces, or the accent elements. Number 9 is hierarchical. So what happens in this one is you take information and you present it according to certain levels. Now, pyramids, such as the one shown here, is very common, but you also may see it in different shapes as well. Number 10 is a single chart. So a single chart is one type of chart, and you use that as a focal point of your data visualization. So behind me is an example of the different heights of buildings, where the One World Trade Center is the 4th, at least as of 2014, tallest building in the world. Number 11 is visualizing numbers. So ideal for adding visual interest to individual units of information, and also you pretty much use it often for when you have various stats and figures. This one here is the Heathrow Airport in numbers, and there's a number of different statistics and different figures, and they've been organized in a way and in different sizes and colors to actually separate the components of the figures from each other. Number 12 is anatomical. So often used to create visual metaphors, and also very often is used where you have the human body, for example, and you have information pointing to different parts of the human body to display certain stats and figures. But also it may be used in other formats. It may not necessarily be the human body, it might be actual components, it might be a product, and you actually use different pointers to that product. Number 13 is the visual resume. So this is actually becoming very popular more and more. It is a way for job seekers to make their resume stand out versus their competitors, where in that case they may have just a text-based resume. So you basically do is you turn your text resume into more of a visual format, and it's pretty much a growing trend to spice up your resume. So these were the 13 different types of infographics. Basically, no matter what type of infographic subject you want to create, you pretty much will fall into one of these. And the decision you have to make is that which type is going to better allow you to present the information that you want to provide to your audience. So we're going to be talking more about that in the next few episodes. And so that's the 13 different types of infographics. Talk to you guys later.